Hello crafters, tonight we're going to make a sympathy card using the Country Florals photopolymer stamp set and the Country Florals dies. For the background paper we're going to use the Country Woods Designer Series paper and the Country Lace Designer Series paper. Hi, I'm Joan and I created this video for Joan Simple Paper Crafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically every other week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. So here's a sympathy card we're going to be making tonight. We used the Country Flowers photopolymer stamp set and the Country Flower dies. We used this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And then we used this die, and we're going to use this die as well. There's going to be one more. Oh, right here, this one. And then we use this from the Stylish Shape dies. So it's the third banner. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. And for our cardstock, we've got a piece cut at 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And we need to score this. And the 5.5 inches is 14 centimeters. And the 8.5 is 21.6 centimeters. And we're going to score it at 4.5 inches. And this is our trimmer here. And we happen to have the scoring blade. I'm going to lift this up. Scoring blade and the trimming blade on there. And I added a third one. And I wrote glitter on there, so when I use glitter paper, I use this one, so it doesn't dull my trimming blade as quickly. It'll use this one, and when it gets really dull, I'll just replace it. But these are all on the same track, so it makes it easy to use. I just push them out of the way and use whichever one I need. We're going to use our scoring blade now. Let me set that back down, and we're just going to go back and forth there. And I already have it trimmed to the right size, so we don't need to use this anymore. And I went ahead and trimmed all of our paper so it's close to the right size. And then we're going to just fold this and see we've got that indent there. And so we want to fold away from the indent. And we're going to use our bone folder and make a nice crisp edge there. And I'm going to flip it over. Same thing. Okay, the next we need is our designer series paper. We're going to use this one from the Country Woods, and I had intended to do this side, but when I wanted to use this piece as well, you kind of lost it in the background. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to put that on with our glue. I have the glue in this My Sweet Petunia glue gun because I can't squeeze this bottle as easily as I can the glue gun, and so I'm able to do more delicate work with it. And I'm just going to start in the center here in case it gives me a big glob like it just did. And then we're just going to drop it out here, and I'm barely squeezing it at all. I'm getting a nice track there. Okay. Then we're going to set it back in our holder, because I don't want this to dry out. And there's this little rubber stopper here, and that's what I need to put it on to keep it from drying out on us. And we're going to put this on our card, and let's make sure we got the right side. Yep. And we're just lining it up right up to the edge. So I just basically cut it at 5.5 inches by 4.25. So that would be 14 centimeters this way, and 4.25 would be 10.8 centimeters this way. And then we've got another piece we're going to do on the inside, and that's going to be our basic white. And we cut this at 4 inches by 5.25 inches, and that would be 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And this popped off. That's the lid. And I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides for this piece here. Basically, you want to center it. And we're not going to do any sentiment on the inside of the card. That's why we can put that in now. Then their next piece is also cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. And we're going to just center that on here, putting 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. And then we'll put it right here. So again, we're centering it, and that should give you 1/8 of an inch for a border, or 0.3 centimeters. Then we've got that small piece, which is 1 inches by 4 inches, and this would be 2.5 centimeters by 10.2 centimeters. And we'll just put a little glue on that as well. We want to center that right on here, and I should have put that on the paper first before we glued down that piece of paper, because if I don't have it cut it right exactly, I would have been able to trim it. But luckily enough, it matches the size. We are good. We don't have to trim it. So that's our floor. There's our wallpaper. And then we need to glue down our stool. And all we're going to do is we're going to stamp the stool here. And we'll use our Memento ink. We've got Tuxedo Black. And we're going to get our stamp here. I don't like to waste paper, so we've got a scrap piece of paper here, but if you need to cut a piece of paper, I would cut it at 2.5 inches by 2 inches, and that would be 2.5 inches would be 6.4 centimeters, and then 2 inches would be 2.5 times 2, so 5 centimeters. So 5 centimeters by 6.4 centimeters. And I'm going to stamp off to get the ink off of here. And then we'll use our Stampin' Scrub to get that off from there as well. And here's our mist. Alright, we're good with that one. So next we're going to bring up is our cut and emboss machine. And we're going to cut this out. And let me get this covered before we have that all over the place. And we're going to use number 1 plate. It's this pattern that's on that plate, but you can't read it anymore. So we're going to use the number 1 plate and then 2 number 2 plates. Those are the clear plates. And this is one of them. Here's the other one. And we'll put this on here. And we're going to, I need for you to see this. We can't have it running into anything when we crank it out. So I'm just going to lay this on here and I'm going to tape it in place. And the tape we're using is our tape from 3M. So it's a post-it tape, label and covering up tape. It sticks securely, removes clearly, and you can use it over and over again. And we're going to use this piece probably a couple times here today. We just want to get that lined up. And then crank it out. I'm just going to leave the tape up here for right now. There. And we're just going to glue this onto here. Right about there. And we'll glue that straight down. And then the other pieces we're going to raise up with our dimensionals. There we go. And let's just put that up right there. And then we need our piece of basic white. We've got one of these we gotta do, and this. So we're gonna stamp all of these with our tuxedo black. So this is our sentiment. We will put that on this big piece here. It's about 1 1/4 inches by 3 inches. I know it's a little bit longer than 3 inches, but that's about the size you want to have, so you can adjust it. There you go. And let's bring this back in here. We'll scrub that in a second. And we're going to do our flowers. Then the vase, or vase. And then our words that are on that vase, so the flower market. All right, then we're going to bring in our Stampin' Scrub. And we'll get these all cleaned up real quick here. I'm using the wrong side. You know how I know? This size has the watermark in it, and this size has a sun drop in it. All right, I think we are done with that. Okay, and before we do anything else, we need to color our flowers and the vase, or the vase, whichever way you want to say it. I am going to take that all of there, and we're going to use our markers here. And I'm going to use them, and once they're done, I'm going to put them away, so we should have none left at the end. The light pool party is for the leaves, and the dark pool party is for the leaves. So we're going to start with the dark pool party and that little nub there. And we're just going to put one line on each leaf. And it pretty much covers up the whole leaf, doesn't it? I think I got them all. Let's do this one next. And then we're going to use the paint tip on the light pool party and blend that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's darker with the light pool party. All right, we are done with those. And then we're going to do the flowers and the fleur de flamingo. And we'll do the dark first. And we're just going to go near the center. I'm just doing the lines there. And a little bit on the bottom. One right here. Then we'll take our light fleur de flamingo. And we'll just blend all that in with the brush. Okay. And we've got our lemon lolly. And we're going to use the dark in the center and around here. And then we're going to bring in the light and blend those out. And these we won't blend out. We're going to just leave them dark all by themselves. So I'm doing the outer level of the flower petals. And then we're going to come in with the light, do the inner petals. And we're going to just blend that out a little bit. All right. I'm going to come back with the dark again. Let me blend a little bit more there. Seems to have faded too easily, I think. There. All right. Then we need the gray yet, or the blue. That's what we need yet, is the blue. And we're going to do the dark blueberry on the bottom of the petals. And then the top of those petals. Do quite a bit of it there. All right, I'm going to leave this out just in case we need to do some more. And we're going to bring in our light blueberry bushel, and we're going to blend those out. Oh, I forgot that one. All right, a little bit of shading in that one. And then we're going to need our smoky slate for the vase. And we're going to take the dark smoky slate and I'm going to shade it on this end. And then we're going to come in with the light on the opposite end. And I'm just letting that set up a little bit before we start blending it. Needs a couple seconds there. My light smoky slate is drying out on me. I probably didn't order this one. I ordered a bunch of new markers because they were drying out, and I don't know if I got one of these. So we're just going to pull that across, blend it out. There we go. I think that looks good. And we didn't even need to use the color lifter. That's pretty good. So we're going to come in and die cut these pieces here. I'll bring that back up here. And we're going to use the same pattern, the number 1, the number 2, and our paper here, and then the second number 2. And we'll do this one first. And then this one next. I need to figure out how to get it on here. Where's those petals? There we go. And I am going to hang on to this because you can often use these to help line them up. That's a good idea to hang on to that. I had used scrap paper the first time around, so I didn't have anything to use to help line them up. Well, then we've got this yet to do, and we want to line it up like this. I think I've got it a little bit too low. We'll see. If I have to redo it, we'll redo it. We are done with that. Okay, I think I had it a little bit low on there. All right, that seems to work. I was afraid that it was going to be a little bit too low. The Y's were coming off the paper, but it seems to work. And then I don't need to have this side, so we're going to trim that. And we're going to trim it right about here. Just don't want those sticking off the other edge. So that's going to work like that, okay? And let's go ahead and put on our dimensionals for these. Now this one I used blue dots underneath and then added just dimensionals, and now this one I'm going to do dimensionals underneath. Let me see if we use the small ones. That might work a lot better. So I can put them in all the corners. Just like I did a glue dot. I had done like here, all 4 corners, and in the center. I'm going to flip this around. And then in the center, and one up here. I'm not going to yet. Then we're just going to put blue dots all around here. I'm doing a little crazy here, but I don't want these to come off and get all wonky when I put them through the mail, which I have to do with these cards usually. And I've got that in the wrong place. That's why I didn't want to stick anything down yet. Can come up here. I think this is just going to be glued down. Yeah, it'll work like that. Okay, let's glue that. I'm going to put glue in this area. I'm going to take off all our dimensionals. Probably not seeing that, are you? I put glue right here. That's what's going to go onto the vase. We'll do our vase next. And then we're going to set it on here, but we're not going to push it down because we have to be able to lift it up enough to get our sentiment in there. And like that. And I'm going to just put a little glue back here and keep going down too far for you to be able to see. So I only got half of the glue on this half because I'm going to stick this underneath here. And hopefully they're not stuck down permanently yet. I need to get this in far enough. There we go. There. Okay, then all we need is our basic gray and smoky slate pearls. We're going to put on 3 of them. Let's put on one right here. And it jumps across the place, right? Put it right there. And we'll put one up here. And one right about here. All right. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? We are done. I hope you liked this project as much as I did. As you can see, any sentiment stamp set would work great on this card. Can't you see it a happy birthday or thinking of you card? Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it, and would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Mark your calendars. I'll be back in 2 weeks from tonight on Sunday, April 14th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And we'll be doing something from the annual catalog, and I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight, and I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.